Hi guys, it's me Karen and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do the last page in The Ink House by Rory Dobner. And it is the last page. This is Freddie here, and he is the last to take leave of the house because the original owner is coming back and all of them have to leave. So I'm going to color him first because I did him in distress ink on the front of the book, and I'm going to finish him off in the same colorations that I used, hopefully. So I have a pile of distress ink here. We're going to paint these on, so we're using the distress ink as a watercolor paint. His sash is done with mahogany and Victorian velvet blended together, so we'll get to that in a bit. His jacket is Stormy Sky. His pants are a mix between the peeled paint and the vintage photo, watered down quite a bit to make him a khaki color. And he is done with the vintage photo on his fur with a tiny bit of walnut stain on the darker areas. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put down the inks on this little pad over here, and all you do is sit there and squish them down and get some ink on there. Oh, sorry for that noise. Fire truck going up the hill. Walnut stain I'm going to put right next to it, and not as much, just a little daub. And then, of course, since we're going to do his pants, we're going to stick that right next to the vintage photo. We'll throw a little of the Stormy Sky over on this side because it's his jacket. And then the velvet, Victorian velvet, and the mahogany, aged mahogany down at the bottom. So that is my palette of color. Doesn't look like much, does it? I don't have the original water brush that I had before, so we're gonna test these out. This one is really dry. Come on. Okay. There we go. So we're going to start off with the vintage photo, and you're just going to pick it up. It's got too much water on it now, but that's okay. Pick it up like watercolor. And we're going to put some down on his tail here, and then just bring it up, and it will fade on up there so he has a white tail or tip. Okay, the back of his head, leaving his fur with just a tiny bit of color on there. And his feet, he's got some feet hiding down here. Okay, in any dark areas like his ears, we're going to go with the walnut and just bring in a little extra color down here at the base of his tail. And down here on his feet. There we go. That was easy. We're going to go into the Stormy Sky and paint up his jacket. Boom. Victorian velvet mixed in with the aged mahogany for his sash. But this brush is not doing what I wanted it to do. There we go. Okay, he's got a tiny little belt here. And we're going to throw a little brown in there too. Okay, his pants were a mix between the brown and the green. So the photo and the green make a khaki color. It's a little too green, a little lighter than that. Okay, and a tiny little shadowing with the brown. There we go. We have some flowers out here and on the front of the house. They were all done with the Victorian velvet and the green. We're just going to add some in here for the grass. And the little greenery up here. That is the peeled paint. Okay. So he's done. We are now going to just use the ink and inking tools for the other objects. One will get out a tool and a brown spongy thing. And I'm going to ink up the tree. So we're going to bring in some vintage photo and gathered twigs. Scattered straw is coming in too. So we're going to start off with the gathered twigs. We're going to go in and load up one portion of this and keep this section for the lines that are being drawn up the portion here. So we're going to ink that up a little bit, and then we're just going to go up the tree. It's a naughty little tree here. It's got a lot of twists and turns in it. It doesn't matter if this ink gets onto the pillars, they're also going to be brown. So are the walls. No biggie. Okay. That's what I like about doing the ink. This is a darker hole and it's got a ladder in it, so we're going to do that in a walnut. Throw a little of this on there, and that way the ladder can be a color. Get it right on the edge and pull it this way. And that tree grows right out of the roof. Okay, we're going to get a little stick. One of these has got brown on it. This one. We're going to go in with a little of in the little areas with this tool. These branches got a little smaller. And just bring it over. We'll do pencil work on this, so we're just going to get it to look nice. So that is the lightest color. We'll go in with some Vintage Photo now, which is a darker brown with a reddish tint to it. Just going to add that in some areas. The knots and the shadowed parts. Okay, then we're going to take some, what did I do with the lid? Take some walnut, and we're going to go in and darken it even more. Especially in here. Go around that letter and leave it nice and light. Go back in these little holes. The walnut stain is a very dark and deep brown. Okay. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of scattered straw. And go around the main trunk of the tree. It's kind of a golden yellow. Works well with all the browns. This is also the color we're going to use on the post here. And the ceiling. One of the reasons it didn't matter if you've got any of that brown on the other side. Okay. And we'll also be doing that up here on the roof. So I'm going to turn the book a little bit. And all up here, we're going to do light coloration of the scattered straw up here. Which helps color in all those branches also. This little portion of the wall. And right above there. Okay. We're also going to take it up this wall, because all the walls in here are the same color. You'll get your branches on this side and your yellow also. There we go. Okay. All right. We're going to bring in a little of the gathered twigs here. Now there's going to be some wood area in here, but we're also going to shadow up our columns. So just put a little bit of color in here too. I'd rather do that with this bonding tool. Just a little smoother for me. And up we go. A little darkness there and a little darkness up here. Got a lot of the walnut stain on there. There we go. Okay, we're going to throw a little of this on the banister and the stairs. A little of that woodwork. Okay. And a little green in there where these rocks are. So that's just a little of the peeled paint. And then I'm pulling out there. All right. I'm going to get out some pencils now. So hold on a moment. Okay. I pulled out the colors that we can do a little shading here with on him. So it's the deep dark, or the dark red 225, where we can add a little shadowing on his sash here. The brown ochre, if we want to pull in a little highlight around his tail. And his feet. Do the cuffs of his pants. Okay. This is the green I used to go over the green, which is earth green yellowish. So if we wanted to add just a bit more of a green look into these rocks. This looks to be like a little tail here. I think that's part of his sash, so we're going to just touch it with red. And put some dots of red in this flower over here. Okay. All right. Then we have some browns that we're going to work on the tree with. Just about every brown that's in the set. You know me and trees. So we're going to start with the lightest color here, and that is the brown ochre. And we're going to go around the edges. And where we still have these shadow lines here, we're going to darken some of those up. And of course we don't have any details down here on the root system because it's just too hard to get the ink down in here. So these are so small. So we're going to run a line of this into these. Now if you're curious, this color kind of matches the gathered twigs, so it'll go over and complement that quite a bit. Okay, lots and lots of tiny little roots there. Let's get you down a little and you can see what I'm doing. And I can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're just going to color a little bit of color on those. We'll use the other colors to come up. Okay, I will darken up these stairs here. And the railing that goes up. Okay, back to these little guys. All the way across. Okay, everybody's got a little bit of color on them. All right, let's work up the tree. Darken some of these areas. And we have a whole bunch of these we got to do in the background. Okay, turn back a little bit. Go up to the roof, and I'm pulling a color down. I'm gonna get the middle of them in a minute. I gotta get all the tops. And there's more over here. Okay, for the most part, it just got all its brown. Gonna go in with a little burnt sienna. This will be like the vintage photo. It has a little red in it. It'll brighten up some of the wood. Put some down in here. Give it kind of a glowing look. Not all over, just in some areas. Then we go down in here. We'll pick the ones we want to have some red in it. Not all of them. Like this one is really close to the color of the pillars, so we'll add the red in there. Help it stand out. A little of that in some of these. Again, pick some, not all of them. I'm going to put another little knot right there. And we'll fill that in with a little black. Add in some extra lines coming down. Give it a little more interest to the bark. Okay. Okay, we're going to grab another color. raw umber. I don't know if I used this one already, but we're going to use it. Again, bring down some of those lines. Vary the pressure you put on the pencil to get some that are dark, some that are light. Get a nice twist in that wood there. I think we'll put another knot right in there, so we just get some black. Pull out some lines. Okay. Keep working around here, pulling up some extra little bits, pulling down, just making your tree look interesting. And a little bit more character than it had. I'm going to go in these darkest areas with some black too. Especially in this little hole. Okay, just go back in with the colors that we were using. This is the raw umber. Okay, more black up here. Just darkening up these areas. Okay, get up a little higher there so you're not looking just nothing. And I don't have to move the book as much. Going back in with the burnt sienna. Okay, we're going to bring in a tiny bit of a cream, if I can find my cream. Yep, there we go. In the lightest areas here. You're going to use that just to define those areas and blend those colors a little bit better. I do not know why the camera is wiggling. It shouldn't be. It's attached to the wall. Okay, so we're going to just keep working that like this trunk here. Just going in with these colors. These other colors we're saving for the woodwork here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to be doing the poles. So we're just going to go in. I saved those colors for that. Okay, these colors. Okay, we're going to go in with burnt umber. And we're going to take this and put it in some darker areas of the pillar. And down those arches up there. We're just going to go up the side here. We're going to put a shadow underneath the branch that's coming up. Go on his shadows that he has here. Okay, bring in another color. This is Van Dyke Brown. I don't know if you can see it by here on top. Okay, then we'll go in with the lighter color, and that is the brown ochre. Okay, we want these to look old because the house is in disarray. Disarray, sorry, losing my voice here. Okay, I'm going to turn this so I can get this work down here. Okay, we're going to throw a little green in that. Right up at the top. Kind of a mossy look. So we're going to throw a little down here. This gives us kind of an aged feeling, but it also gives you a separation between the browns with just a touch of the green in there. Okay, right up here too. We are going to put it up on this side because this here is woodwork, and we are going to need a little slight separation between that. So do the same thing over here. And down on this one. There we go. Okay, we're going to take a little walnut brown. Darken up some of these areas too. These ones that are in the back, I want them darker, so we're just going to put the walnut going down them. They're small, but they're also in the shadows. I spent the whole day on this tree. I love doing wood. We'll put a little shadow on our little ladder down here. Just so it has some coloration on it. It's kind of down in the hole, so we want it darker down here. Put a little light at the top. That is the brown ochre again. I think it's looking pretty cool. Sorry if you weren't seeing any of that. Like I said, I love doing wood. I'm not paying any attention to anything else. I'm just accenting these lines and pulling them up. They're there, we might as well make them a little longer. See that nice bark effect. Gonna take in the walnut brown. Darken up these shadowed areas that are already present. There's a little spot there that's the floor. So I have to get the color out of that. Sorry. We're going to take the walnut up here too. Go in with the Van Dyke brown here. Just a touch of it, and we're going to go back in with the brown ochre. Then our cream. Yeah, we'll do just a touch more work up here, and then I'm going to have to call it. Hand's getting a little tired. But I don't want to rush this. I like doing this part. And I want it to look like a tree. it part of this tree? Okay, we'll bring it in. Seems to be a line there that doesn't make any sense, so I'm going to get rid of that. I put it in there, so it's going bye-bye. And there we go. If there's anything that you want to highlight, just bring in your eraser and highlight it. Which just adds a little touch to it. I have to get the eraser out just a little bit more. It won't take the distress ink out after the distress ink dries because, you know, once it's dried, it's archival, permanent. The only way you can get rid of it is to wet it. And I don't care to do that. But it will take the pencil back down if you want to highlight some areas. And I just do it to touch up some areas that I think I may have gotten just a little too dark. Just to bring out a little bit more of it. Okay, wipe that off, and I will have to call it for today, and I will see you guys in part 2. We'll be doing a lot more work on the, well, the house. The tree is almost done. I'll probably finish it up. It's just playing around with the colors. Something I find very relaxing. Anyway, so I'm going to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, and I will see you in part 2. Really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.